Welcome back to Can Angels Fly 1970. I'm Nancy, and I'm here to talk about the devil today. Yeah, the big meaning. So if you're here to see something on terror, not today. You won't get it today. So feel free to leave, and I'll catch you next time. As I said, we're going to talk about the devil today. We're going to talk about how, who, what, when, where, and why he came from. The big red dude. And that's the first place I like to go when we talk about the devil today, is who is he? You know, I personally have never had the devil manifest in the flesh right here near me. Because if I did, I would poop bricks. Yes, I would. Yes, I would. But what I have seen of the devil are images of the devil. I'm sure, I almost bit my lip. See, he don't like me. I'm sure that you all have heard of the term, the image of the beast. You know, so that's where we're gonna go. That's where we're gonna start. As I was saying, I ain't never seen him manifest in the physical, but what I have seen are pictures and artwork and different things like that that showed me how he looks. You know, when I think of the devil, I reflect upon the images of him that I've seen, where he's red and he got these long, scary fingernails and toenails, and he got a long tail with a stinger on the end like a scorpion, and these big ram horns or bull horns, and he looks scary. And you real buff and kind of looming over you like a prisoner, that kind of thing. Something ain't right with that now, is it? But let's talk about how that image developed, or other images similar to it developed. Now, I know for certain that that physical image of the devil ain't him. That is an artistic representation of who he really is. So let's talk about who the devil really is. He's a spirit energy, you know, a spirit energy being. Spirit meaning no body, just consciousness. You know, energy having the force and power to do and influence and affect. That's who he is. He is a bodiless or non-physical being that does have consciousness. I know you say, how is that? How are you going to have consciousness and no physical? Well, he's spirit. That spirit is real and it is conscious. And in the case of the devil, he's evil. You know, he has very malicious intentions at all times. He's very manipulative and destructive. Now let's go back to the image of the beast, of the devil. God dang it, if I can't make this computer stop this mess. Devil don't like me. That's okay. The image. As I just said, he's a vindictive, mean, angry, destructive, malicious, and a whole list of nasty things. So think about that picture you've seen of him. You know, if he's destructive, that's probably why he got the real long scratcher eyeballs out nails and a horn like a bull, so he can tear some shit up. You know, and he's red because we know he's angry. You know, so those kind of things help to create the image of the devil. And like I said, he got buff like a prisoner, like he got attitude, like he gonna do something to somebody. Because the artist wanted to and needed to depict to humanity what he was, what he is. Because humanity seems not to have the capacity or want to look at the spiritual realm. So The artist knew that humans accept and identify with those things that they can interact with their five senses: tasting, touching, hearing, feeling, and seeing. So we see now the image of the beast, of the devil, so that it can make it real to us, so that we'll pay attention to it. And we do. We pay that image a lot of attention, but we're not getting what it actually means. That image, that picture, that depiction is telling you about the spirit and the energy that it embodies. That spirit energy has no body. It doesn't have a physical body. Therefore, it can't touch you. It has no physical body. Therefore, it cannot interact with the physical realm. However, it is the energy. It's moving. It's all over. So what the devil does have is the ability to influence the air and the environment around you. You understand? I think they refer to it in the metaphysical world as the ether. And so what the devil does is he indirectly influences a person. If a person is susceptible to his tactics, then a person will ultimately embody his ways and act them out, because what he's trying to do is get his dirty, low-life, grimy behaviors into the physical. And once he has infiltrated a person, that person who is in the flesh, that has five senses, that interfaces with this world with their five senses, goes out and does the devil's bid. Now, in my religious studies, I was taught that the devil was God's right-hand man. We call him Satan, Lucifer, morning star, the light, the luminous one. Now, anything that illuminates, it hits the surface. So imagine the devil is the light. Lucifer is the light, and he illuminates. And you know, you ever had the spotlight on you and the light lights you up? That's what he does to mankind, if you're susceptible to his ways. Now, I want to make it perfectly clear that the devil is not a physical being. What we see and identify with is an artistic depiction of a spiritual energy. That spiritual energy is malicious. All right. A conscious, very conscious energy. Now, read my notes. Okay. Another thing I was taught in my religious studies was that overall the devil is just hostile, right? But he comes to do three things in particular. And those three things are to steal, kill, and destroy. And that's what he does through human beings, through us, not me, but whoever embodies his energy, whoever lives his energy out, whoever does his crimes for him. And when he steals people joy, their dreams, desires, hope, faith, empathy for others. He can lead or influence the environment around people that ultimately infiltrates into his kind, and they go out and they kill people's bodies, and or the ability to withstand or to have will. Now I want to talk about what's evil. What is evil? Now, evil is something that evil is the embodying the devil's ways, which are opposite God's ways, and like I said, living them out. That's evil. And I want to read a scripture. It's the expression. It's the expression, bringing physically expressing those vindictive, vicious energies into the world or through actions. Okay, but I really want to read 2 Timothy 3:2 from the King James Version Bible, because it talks about the final days and how people will be. It says, "But understand this, in the last days, terrible times will come. Men will be lovers of themselves, lovers of money, boastful, arrogant, abusive, disobedient to their parents, ungrateful, unholy, unloving, unforgiving, slanderous, without self-control, brutal, without love of good, treacherous, reckless, conceited, lovers of pleasure rather than lovers of God, having a form of godliness but denying its power. Turn away from such as these." Statement I want to talk about right here real quick is, it says that they have a form of godliness but deny its power. Who has a form of godliness but denies power? Man does. Humanity does. And we're going to talk about that power near the end. How we're not executing our power. Now, again, evil is the physically expressing these negative actions and behaviors. Now, mind you, the devil doesn't have a body. He can't touch you. He can't attack you. He can influence the environment all around you, the ether. And if you're susceptible to him, then you will act out what he wants done. And what he wants done is no bars hold with him. There's no rules. There's no regulations. Do what you want. Be who you want to be. I wrote down a few extra words like envy and violence and lust and ignorance and murderous and inconsiderate and selfish, two-faced, thieves, vengeful, cheaters, and deceivers. That's a lot to say about a person. But many of us are that way. And it really just puzzles me how we don't know. We act like we don't know that we're doing the devil's bid. Maybe we don't, because we are him. You understand? We are just radiating what has been reflected on us. That the devil reflects on us because he can't do it. And we only can do it because we're in the physical. But you have a choice. So let's talk about, when did it start? Why did it start? When did it appear? Well, through my religious studies early on, I was taught the story of Adam and Eve. That story in Genesis. But, I believe it's symbolic or written in parables, like I've heard many have said before. And what it represented, remember, God said Adam and Eve in the garden. It's all beautiful. They living under his doctrine. And then here come the old serpent with the lie. It wasn't a lie. He was balancing the scales. Because remember, God gave free will. So God said, I'm not no dictator. You can be who you want, act how you want, worship who you want. I'm going to give you free will. The devil is the other side of the scale that offers free will. It's a balancing act. And so when Eve did what she did and disobeyed God, the scale began to drop. Then Adam. And then generation after generation of disobedience. And then all these negative things like envy, slander, murder, we embodied the devil and lived it out. So, let's talk about okay, I did the earlier story. Now, I hate when I lose my way. Just be patient. I really have something I wanted to point out. What I came to understand, I'm sorry, y'all, it's hot as hell today where I'm from, is that God not only gave us free will, he gave us a lot of laws that rule and regulate reality, 3D world, three-dimensional world, physical realm. And one of the other standard rules is out here that we probably never thought about relates to this particular story or subject, is that the majority rules. The majority rules. When there was just Adam and Eve and everybody was good, Adam and Eve, majority rules. So they were still living under the doctrine of the Most High, which allowed them to be in a paradise. But once they activated their free will and started living under the doctrine of the devil, generation after generation of murderers, liars, thieves, cheats, sluts, and whatever else came along, the majority ruled. Till this day, the majority rules. Now, another thing I like to point out is that paradise was here right on this earth. This physical earth. This whole earth was meant to be a paradise. But through man's sin of envy, jealousy, lying, sneaking, creeping, you name it. You name it. We have began to destroy this beautiful world. And mind you, this world was specially equipped in order to sustain our physical bodies. Yes, for an appointed time. But it was designed to maintain us in the highest of quality while we're here. But because we chose to live by an opposing doctrine, the devil, over time, generation after generation after generation, we have gotten rid of the heaven on earth, the paradise, and have developed a world that is becoming hell. See, folks, right here, right now, the things that exist, all the crazy stuff we see and hear, is all because some folks was susceptible to the devil and decided to physically express his energy. So here we stand. And the truth of the matter is that any time humanity can change and say, oh, we're not going to embody that way of thinking, that way of acting, that way of doing. Do you know that kills the devil? Yeah. And if we begin to embody God and his doctrine and the integrity that he had for us, that he wants us to express, we begin to bring that paradise back. However, we have free will, and the majority rules. Now, as I said, it's up to us. So, and that the majority rules. So, the question is, how do you want to live? Do you want heaven here on earth, or do you want hell here on earth? It's up to you. It's up to me. It's up to us. It's up to humanity. But understand this, that God originally created this realm, again, for spiritual beings to enter a physical body and have a physical experience. All the sunrises, all the sunsets, all the stars, all the food, all the drinks, all the entertainment, the love, that's the physical realm here. And he wanted it done a certain way so that it will be harmonious and heavenly from generation to generation. But free will, the devil over there he created, you can do what you want to do. You want to have those same things, but under his doctrine, of stealing, killing, and destroying. And that will be the ultimate result. And so it's like saying, hey, the time is coming, and I'm coming back, and I'm going to look at how you lived. Did you choose to keep moving in the way and the pathway I set you on? Because if you did, guess what? Your grandchildren and their grandchildren and their grandchildren are going to inherit a paradise. Because what I'm about to do is the devil and all his followers that want to live his way. That's fine. That's fine with me. I would wish I hadn't, but I would hope you wouldn't, but that's your choice. Y'all have a whole nother place, and I'm going to take you there. Because this place was not meant for that. Not at all. The place that was meant for what you do is separate from here. So I got to weed it out. Because these things are generational. So if I got a person here that is going to live under my doctrine and teach it to their children, and they are going to teach it to their children, then again my earth will slowly recover back into a paradise that generations later will inherit. But in order to do that, I have to remove you, the ones who embody the evil, deceptive, destructive energy of the devil. I have to remove you. And I have a special place for you to go with your leading energy, the energy that you want to follow. It's okay. It's okay. But understand this. The devil is one of those energies that helps to define how you lived. God says when he opens the book of life and reads your works, you will be dealt with as such. Well, that's the truth. That's the way I learned it. Let me know what you know. Write in the comments below. Until next time, from Can Angels Fly. Bye.